The cave's jagged mouth swallowed us whole as the storm raged outside, lightning cracking like a whip across the Colorado sky. Blood trickled from my forehead, warm and sticky, mixing with the dirt on Noelle's hands as she pressed a torn shirt against my wound, her voice a fierce whisper. "You idiot, Leighton, this is on you, but I'm not letting you bleed out here." In that moment, my rival's eyes, usually sharp with corporate ambition, softened into something raw and vulnerable, pulling me into a whirlwind I never saw coming. Leighton Harper had always thrived on the cutthroat edge of Denver's tech scene, where boardrooms felt like battlegrounds and every deal was a conquest. At 32, she was the rising star at Apex Innovations, a sleek startup disrupting the renewable energy market with solar tech that promised to power entire cities off the grid. Her days were a blur of pitch meetings, late-night coding sessions, and outmaneuvering competitors who dared to challenge her vision. But Noelle Vance was the thorn in her side, the alpha rival from Summit Energy, a rival firm just across town, known for her unyielding drive and a reputation that whispered of unbreakable resolve. Noelle, 34, with her sharp jawline and piercing green eyes, had poached clients from under Leighton's nose more than once, turning what should have been professional rivalry into something personal, charged with unspoken tension. It started innocently enough, or so Leighton thought. An industry conference in Boulder had brought them together for a panel on sustainable tech, where their debate sparked like flint on steel. "Your solar panels are innovative, Harper, but they're fragile dreams in a world that needs ironclad solutions," Noelle had quipped, her smile a mix of challenge and allure. Leighton fired back. "And your batteries are relics, Vance, efficient, sure, but lacking the spark to ignite real change." The audience ate it up, but off stage, over drinks at a dimly lit bar overlooking the Flatirons, the banter turned flirtatious. "You fight like you mean it," Noelle said, her hand brushing Leighton's arm. "Makes me wonder what else you're passionate about." Leighton laughed it off, but the seed was planted. Weeks later, when a mutual contact invited them on a team-building hike in the Rocky Mountains, framed as a networking opportunity to bridge rivalries, she couldn't resist. "It's just a day trip," she told her best friend Mia, over coffee in a bustling Denver cafe. "Clear my head, maybe bury the hatchet with Vance." Mia raised an eyebrow. "Or dig it deeper. Be careful, Lee. She's got that alpha energy that could swallow you whole." The group assembled at the trailhead, a mix of execs, engineers, and outdoor enthusiasts, all buzzing with the promise of fresh air and forged alliances. Noelle arrived last, in hiking boots and a fitted jacket that hugged her athletic frame, her dark hair tied back in a ponytail. "Harper," she greeted with a nod, her voice carrying that familiar edge. "Didn't think you'd show. Afraid of a little altitude?" Leighton smirked. "Only afraid you'll slow me down, Vance." The hike began under a clear blue sky, winding through pine forests and up steep inclines toward Eldora Peak. Conversations flowed, shop talk about lithium shortages, the latest in AI-driven energy grids. But between Leighton and Noelle, it was a dance of jabs and glances. As the group splintered, with some opting for easier paths, the two found themselves alone on a rugged side trail, drawn by the allure of a hidden cave system rumored to hold ancient petroglyphs. "Bet I can beat you to the entrance," Noelle challenged, her eyes sparkling. They raced, laughter echoing off the rocks, until a sudden rumble shook the ground. A flash storm, common in the Rockies, unleashed torrents of rain and hail. Seeking shelter, they ducked into the cave, but the entrance collapsed behind them in a cascade of boulders and mud. Darkness enveloped them, pierced only by the faint glow of their phone flashlights. "Shit," Leighton muttered, her heart pounding. Noelle assessed the blockage. "We're trapped. Signal's dead. We wait for rescue." Hours stretched into an eternity. The cave was damp and cold, echoes amplifying every drip. They shared what little they had. Energy bars, a water bottle, stories to pass the time. Leighton learned Noelle grew up in a small Montana town, fighting her way out of poverty through scholarships and sheer grit. "My parents didn't get it, me being gay, me wanting more than ranch life. But I built my empire anyway." Leighton opened up too, about her estranged family in California, how her drive stemmed from proving she was more than that queer kid who didn't fit. Tension built as the air grew thinner. A wrong step on unstable ground sent Leighton tumbling, gashing her leg on sharp rocks. Blood pooled and panic set in. Noelle tore her shirt for a bandage, her hands steady despite the fear in her eyes. Hold still, Harper. This is your fault for rushing ahead, but I'm not losing you. The words hung heavy, laced with accountability that cut deeper than the wound. As night fell, or what felt like it in the perpetual dark, their rivalry cracked. Noelle held Leighton close for warmth, their bodies pressed together against the chill. Why do you push so hard? Leighton whispered. Noelle sighed. Because if I don't, who will? But you. You make me question everything. In that vulnerability a spark ignited. Not just survival, but something tender, forbidden in their world of competition. Rescue came at dawn, helicopters chopping the air above. But as they were airlifted out, bandaged and battered, Leighton felt the shift. Noelle's hand squeezed hers. This isn't over, Harper. And it wasn't. Back in Denver, the cave incident made headlines. Rival tech execs trapped, emerge united. But privately, lunches turned into dates, guarded at first, then fervent with emotion. Yet drama loomed. Noelle's firm was eyeing a merger that could crush Apex. It's business, she said over wine in Leighton's loft, overlooking the city lights. Leighton felt betrayed. Business? After what we shared. The argument escalated, words like daggers. You held me accountable in that cave. Now you're selling me out? The merger news hit like a second cave-in. Leighton stared at the email from her board. Summit Energy's aggressive bid to acquire Apex splashed across industry blogs. Vance is leading the charge, her VP whispered in the glass-walled conference room, the Denver skyline mocking her with its serenity. Noelle had known, had to have known, during their post-rescue rendezvous. Those stolen kisses in hidden cafes, the late-night texts confessing fears and dreams, now felt like reconnaissance. Leighton confronted her that evening in a park along the South Platte River, joggers and cyclists blurring past. How could you? She demanded, voice cracking under the weight of hurt. Noelle's face hardened, then softened. It's not personal, Lee. My board pushed it. I fought against it, but... Survival of the fittest. Leighton stepped back, the river's rush mirroring her turmoil. In the cave, you said you'd hold me accountable. Now you're the one dodging. This is betrayal, Noelle. The fallout was swift. Leighton threw herself into countermeasures, rallying investors with fiery presentations that painted Summit as predators. Noelle countered in media interviews, her poise unbroken, but Leighton caught the flicker of regret in her eyes during a televised debate. Innovation thrives on competition, not conquest, Leighton argued, her words aimed like arrows. Off-camera, Noelle pulled her aside. Meet me tonight. We need to talk. They met at a quiet cabin in the foothills, a neutral ground echoing their cave ordeal. Fire crackled in the hearth as rain pattered outside. I didn't want this, Noelle admitted, pouring whiskey with trembling hands. But my past. I can't fail. Not after clawing my way up. Leighton listened, the story unfolding. Noelle's ex, a manipulative partner who drained her emotionally and financially, leaving her wary of vulnerability. You make me feel again, Lee. That's terrifying. They talked through the night, barriers crumbling. Leighton shared her own scars. A college love that ended in heartbreak when her girlfriend chose the closet over authenticity. I built walls too. But in that cave, you breached them. As dawn broke, they embraced, not as rivals but as equals. We'll fight the merger together, Noelle whispered. For us. But trust, once fractured, mends slowly. Weeks later, during a crucial negotiation in a high-rise overlooking Coors Field, a leaked document revealed Noelle had hesitated on the bid, costing her allies. Rumors swirled. Was it sabotage for love? Noelle's board turned on her, demoting her in a power play. They think I'm soft now, she confided to Leighton over phone, voice laced with defeat. Because of you. Leighton drove to Noelle's apartment in Lodo, the trendy district alive with nightlife. Finding her packing boxes, heart sank. You're leaving. Noelle nodded. Transfer to Seattle branch. Fresh start. The air thickened with unspoken words. Don't go, Leighton pleaded. We can fix this. Noelle's eyes welled. I held you in that cave, Lee. Now hold me accountable. Let me go if it's best. The separation was agony. Months passed in a haze of work and loneliness. Leighton led Apex to independence, thwarting the merger with innovative partnerships. Success tasted hollow without Noelle. Letters arrived sporadically, Postcards from the Pacific Northwest, filled with longing. The mountains here remind me of our cave. Miss your fire. A turning point came at a national summit in San Francisco. Leighton spotted Noelle across the ballroom, her presence electric. They collided in conversation, old sparks reigniting. I was wrong, Noelle said later on a foggy pier. Running didn't fix anything. It just amplified the void. Leighton took her hand. Then come back. To Denver. To me. Reconciliation wasn't easy. Therapy sessions unpacked the drama. The rivalry, the betrayal, the deep-seated fears. They navigated it with raw honesty, building a foundation stronger than corporate empires. Noelle returned, starting her own consultancy, advising firms like Apex without conflict. Their relationship blossomed, public now, a beacon in the tech world where queer women often hid. Yet conflict resurfaced when an old flame of Noelle's appeared. A charismatic investor named Riley, stirring jealousy. She's just a contact, Noelle assured. But Leighton saw the lingering glances at a gala. After everything, how can I trust? The argument echoed their past, but this time they faced it head-on. Because I choose you, Noelle said, pulling Leighton into a dance under glittering lights. Every day. Their bond deepened through shared adventures. Hikes that avoided caves, road trips to national parks, volunteering at LGBTQ+ centers in Denver's vibrant community. Leighton's family reached out, tentative bridges forming. Noelle's too. A holiday visit to Montana thawing old ice. High drama peaked during a wildfire season that threatened the Rockies. Evacuations forced them into action, coordinating relief with their networks. In the chaos, Noelle twisted her ankle rescuing supplies. Leighton carried her, reminiscent of the cave. You and your heroics, Leighton teased through tears. Always holding me accountable. As flames licked the horizons of Colorado's Front Range, Leighton and Noelle found themselves at the epicenter of community response. Their tech expertise turned into lifelines. Apex's solar kits powered emergency shelters, while Noelle's consultancy mobilized drones for supply drops. But the fire's unpredictability mirrored their relationship. Beautiful yet volatile. We can't keep dancing around trust, Leighton said one night in a makeshift command center, the acrid smoke seeping through windows. Noelle nodded, her face smudged with soot. Riley was a ghost from my past. Nothing more. But doubt lingered, fueled by a misinterpreted email Leighton glimpsed. Warm words from Riley about rekindling old flames. Confrontation erupted in their shared home, a cozy bungalow in Washington Park. Are you seeing her? Leighton accused, voice breaking. Noelle's denial was fierce. No. But if you don't believe me, what's the point? The rift widened. Noelle stormed out, seeking solace in work. Leighton buried herself in data, but isolation gnawed. Friends intervened. Mia hosting an intervention dinner. You two are meant to be, she urged. But love requires vulnerability, not armor. Slowly they talked, peeling layers of insecurity. Noelle admitted her fear of abandonment rooted in childhood losses. Leighton confessed her rivalry stemmed from imposter syndrome. In that cave you saw me broken and real. That's what I love. Healing came through action. They volunteered at a pride event in Civic Center Park, amid rainbow flags and pulsing music. Holding hands publicly, they felt the weight lift. We're stronger together, Noelle murmured. Romance reignited. Picnics in Cheeseman Park, stargazing drives to Estes Park, where elk roamed under vast skies. But life's drama doesn't pause. A corporate scandal rocked Summit Energy, embezzlement tied to Noelle's old board. Subpoenas arrived, dragging her into depositions. They'll paint me as complicit, she worried. Leighton stood by her, hiring lawyers, testifying to Noelle's integrity. You held me accountable once. Now it's my turn. The trial in federal court was grueling, media circus amplifying every twist. Noelle took the stand, voice steady. I left because I wouldn't compromise my values. Leighton watched, pride swelling. Acquitted, Noelle emerged changed, humbled, grateful. You saved me, Lee. Post-trial, they escaped to a cabin in Aspen, snow blanketing the world in quiet. Conversations turned introspective. What if we merged not companies but lives? Noelle proposed. Leighton smiled. A partnership? Engagement followed. A simple ring exchange under autumn aspens, leaves golden like their future. Family attended the small ceremony, Leighton's parents flying in, Noel's from Montana. Vows echoed the cave. In darkness or light, I hold you accountable to love. Yet human elements persisted. Jealousy flared when Leighton mentored a young engineer, sparks misread. She's just ambitious, Leighton explained. Noel laughed ruefully. Like I was with you. They navigated with therapy communication their anchor. Community involvement deepened their bond. They founded a nonprofit for queer women in STEM, hosting workshops in Denver's incubators. Stories shared. Triumphs over discrimination, loves lost and found. Our cave was a metaphor, Noel said at a keynote. Trapped by rivalry, freed by connection. Personal growth bloomed. Leighton softened her edges, delegating at apex for balance. Noel embraced vulnerability, writing a memoir snippet about their journey. Bloodied but Unbroken, she titled it. A pivotal moment came during a return hike to Eldora Peak. Standing at the cave's restored entrance, memories flooded. This is where it began, Leighton said, hand in Noel's. Rivals to lovers. Noel kissed her. And everything in between. As years hinted at passing lines etching faces, gray threading hair, their love endured. Drama evolved into depth, conflicts into conversations. In quiet evenings on their porch, city lights twinkling, they reflected. We forged respect in that cave, Noel said. But love? That's what we built every day. Time wove its tapestry, turning their story from fresh wounds to healed scars. Leighton and Noel's marriage was a quiet affair in a mountain chapel, surrounded by wildflowers and closest allies. I promise to challenge you, cherish you, and never let rivalry eclipse our bond, Leighton vowed. Noel's eyes shimmered. In caves or boardrooms, I'll hold you accountable to our shared dreams. Honeymoon in Hawaii brought sun-soaked beaches, but drama followed. A call about Apex's stock dip due to market volatility. We handle it together, Noel said, laptop open amid palm trees. Their synergy shone, stabilizing the company remotely. Back home they adopted a rescue dog, a scruffy mutt named Echo, symbolizing their echoed past. Walks in City Park became rituals, discussing everything from politics to personal fears. Trump's era tested us. Leighton reflected on past elections. But we marched, we voted, we endured. Professional peaks arrived. Noel's consultancy boomed, partnering with global firms on green tech. Leighton scaled Apex, going public in a NYSE bell-ringing ceremony, Noel by her side. Media dubbed them power couple of renewables, but privately it was the small moments. Cooking Italian in their kitchen, debating films on Netflix. Betrayal struck again, subtly. A colleague at Apex, envious of Leighton's success, leaked proprietary data to a competitor. Fingers pointed internally, trust fracturing the team. Noel's outsider perspective helped. Investigate fairly. Accountability starts at the top. The culprit confessed, leading to reforms. You taught me that, Leighton said gratefully. Emotional depths plumbed when Noel's mother fell ill. Flights to Montana, hospital vigils. Leighton held her through nights of worry. She's accepting us now, Noel whispered as her mom squeezed Leighton's hand. Recovery brought family closer. Holidays filled with laughter. Their nonprofit flourished, mentoring young lesbians navigating tech's male-dominated halls. A mentee, Sarah, shared her coming-out story mirroring theirs. You give hope, she said. Leighton and Noel beamed, their legacy extending. High drama resurfaced with a natural disaster. A flood in Denver's suburbs displacing communities. They mobilized resources but exhaustion tested them. I can't do this alone, Noel admitted, breaking down. Leighton enveloped her. You don't have to. We're a team. Romance persisted in unexpected ways. Surprise weekends in Santa Fe. Art galleries inspiring passion. Your eyes still spark like that first debate, Noel teased. Leighton blushed. And your strength still grounds me. Aging brought introspection. At 40, Leighton faced a health scare. A benign tumor, but surgery loomed. Noel never left her side, echoing the cave's vigil. We'll get through, she promised. Post-op, they renewed vows informally, under stars in their backyard. Conflicts mellowed into wisdom. When a new rival firm emerged, led by a brash entrepreneur, they advised rather than competed. Let the young blood learn, Noelle said. Their focus shifted to philanthropy, funding scholarships for underrepresented voices. In quieter times they revisited the cave, now a protected site. This place birthed us, Leighton mused. Noelle nodded. Bloodied but reborn. As decades hinted, their love remained a beacon, dramatic, emotional, romantic, humane. Friends envied their depth. How do you keep it alive? Mia asked. By choosing each other, flaws and all, Leighton replied. The twilight of their careers brought reflection and renewal. Leighton retired from Apex at 55, passing the torch to a diverse board. Noelle wound down her consultancy, focusing on writing a memoir titled Caves of the Heart, From Rivals to Soulmates. It became a bestseller, inspiring queer women nationwide with its raw honesty about drama, betrayal, and redemption. Their home evolved into a sanctuary filled with photos, the cave rescue, wedding, protests, travels. Echo's successor, a pup named Resilience, bounded through rooms. Evenings were spent on the porch, watching sunsets paint the Rockies pink. We've weathered storms, Noelle said one dusk. Leighton intertwined fingers and emerged stronger. Humanity's touch persisted. A global crisis, a pandemic, isolated them, but they adapted, hosting virtual mentorships. Connection endures, Leighton blogged. Noelle's health waned briefly, a bout with illness, but Leighton's care mirrored past vigils. You hold me accountable to fight, Noelle joked weakly. Recovery sparked adventure. A cross-country RV trip, tracing America's veins from New York to California. Stops at landmarks, Stonewall, the Grand Canyon rekindled romance. Remember our first hike? Noelle asked amid red rocks. Leighton kissed her. How could I forget? It forged us. Betrayal's shadow loomed one last time. A former mentee plagiarized Noelle's ideas in a startup pitch. Hurt cut deep. Why? Noelle lamented. Leighton urged confrontation. The apology came laced with remorse. We teach forgiveness too, Leighton said. Their story culminated in a documentary, Alpha Hearts, chronicling queer resilience in business. Interviews revealed depths. The cave's terror, mergers, pain, love's triumph. It's not happily ever after, Noelle shared on screen. It's humanly ever after with effort. In their 60s they downsized to a cabin near Boulder. Nature's embrace constant. Community ties strengthened. Volunteering at shelters. Advocating for LGBTQ+ rights amid shifting politics. America's evolving, Leighton noted. But love leads the way. Final drama. Leighton's family reconciliation peaked with a visit. Old wounds healing. Noelle's too. A joint holiday blending coasts. We've built bridges, Noelle reflected. As years waned, their bond was a quiet symphony. In bed one night, Noelle whispered, If I go first, know you were my greatest respect and love. Leighton teared up. And you mine. The end came gently, Noelle passing peacefully at 78, Leighton by her side. Grief was profound but legacy endured. Leighton lived on, sharing their tale until her own peaceful close at 80. In death as in life they forged respect. Buried together under Colorado soil, near their cave. Epitaph. Bloodied rivals, united souls. Their story, humane and heartfelt, inspired generations. Proof that from darkness blooms light, rivalry births romance, and accountability weaves unbreakable love.